Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to call this meeting to order, the Mayor and Board of Commissioners for May 22nd, 2018. Will you rise with me for the Pledge of Allegiance, please? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Can I get the roll call, please?
Commissioner Braun,
Here.
Commissioner Warnick,
Here.
Commissioner Pearson,
Present.
Mayor Marion.
Here.
Let the record reflect that all are in attendance with the exception of Commissioner Arthur-Reith.
All right, and Commissioner Arthur-Reith let the board know that he was unable to attend tonight. He had some business that he had to attend to with his job. With that being said, I am going to ask you all to bow your heads, and tonight we are going to have a special moment of silence for the Baltimore County officer, Amy Capria, who was viciously killed in the line of duty. Our thoughts and prayers go out to the Baltimore County Police Department, as well as to her family and friends. Thank you. All right. First on the agenda is citizens' input. Would anyone like to speak this evening? Absolutely.
My name is William Cother. I have a few comments and some questions about the Chester Water Service Interconnect. Taken individually, these are pretty innocuous, but when you put them together, April 2017, the town announces a realignment of water line on Red Pump Road to save the town money for repairs to the road, lessen the impact on property owners, and it's only going to impact 2 undeveloped fields. One of those fields is owned by Stillwater's investment property. It's 42 acres. The other is owned by Wagner Property Management. Okay, Wagner Property Management was formed in March of 2018. In April of 2018, they purchased the old Frapple property. My question is, was the realignment ever offered to Frapple? Was it done because there was an understanding that an entity close to the town was going to purchase it? You know, it looks kind of fuzzy, guys. You have an ethics board, right? Did anybody say, hey, maybe we need to, she works for us. Of course, you know who I'm talking about and why. Waterline was 9 to 10 years in planning. Why at the 11th hour was the alignment announced? Okay?
I'm going to let the town administrator handle this one.
But
I'm going to let Mr. Cother finish.
Was a decision to realign the water line made with the understanding that the property would be purchased by an entity familiar with the town? Why weren't fire hydrants considered prior to the realignment? Okay? When the water line was going to be along Red Pump Road. Instead, it necessitates the pursuing of $75,000 from the county to install needed fire hydrants. I understand the need for them, but you wouldn't need that amount of money had the line not been realigned. I guess my main question, the thing that bothers me more than anything, have the mayor and commissioners positioned the town of Rising Sun for another lawsuit? You have numerous people with large tracts of land that have been waiting for this, we're open for business, and suddenly have an entity close to the town that's going to have water on their line, on their property, at no cost to them. Someone's going to say there's an unfair advantage there. Was no decision, was no regard made for ethics? I mean, like I said, take it individually, these are innocuous little things. Put together, I'm not the only one thinking this.
No, and I'm glad
It's kind of smells.
I would say I'm glad you came out today to
Like,
address this.
You know, Ricky said, Lucy, you got some splaining to do.
I would absolutely say that I'm going to let the town administrator handle this, but the 2 things that I would definitely let you know of is at no time will water be given to the Wagner property. They will pay just like anyone else will pay. The fire hydrants that are on county property and not on town property would be a need, whether it was going through the field or whether it was going through the roadway, which would have caused a lot of delays. We, as a town board, feel that those fire hydrants should be paid for the county because they are not going to be servicing town residents, they're going to be servicing county residents. And we don't think it's fair for our taxpayers to have to take on that burden. Town administrator, if you want to go a little further into the details, you can. But from my point of view, I think it's a large stretch to say that there was any collusion or if there were any issues. I'm glad you came tonight to ask. And if you want to cover that, you can.
You asked several different questions. I'm going to go from the reverse, the last question, back to the first one. In reference to the fire hydrants, whether, as the mayor stated, the water line running on Red Pump Road or in the field does not change the need for the fire hydrants at all. The fire hydrants, a desire to have fire hydrants would exist whether it's the line ran along Red Pump Road or ran in the field. That's first of all. Secondly, echoing what the mayor had said, and I'll take it one step further, in terms of the 11th hour, there was no 11th hour in any of this decision making. The county was approached about paying for fire hydrants in July of 2017. The county was provided cut sheets showing where the hydrants could and should be located. The county did not include that in the operating budget for this year, which led the town to basically go to a public meeting to, on behalf of the 2,800 residents of the town of Rising Sun, to go to the county and say, why are you subjecting our town residents to pay for hydrants on a water line that will not be protecting Rising Sun residents? They will be protecting Cecil County residents. And that discussion goes back to July of 2017. The other item in terms of, I believe you asked about the easement. The original easement was made with Frapple. There were two easements that were done. There was an easement done, and I'm going to give you a roundabout date period of that. It was done probably around May or so of 2017 to get an easement to run across their property. But when the property was surveyed, to err on the side of caution, there was an area that was deemed to be either in the wetlands area or very close to the wetlands area. So we redesigned the line even further to go even further out into the field and got a subsequent amendment to the original easement to Frapple to run through there. The fact that Wagner's bought the property is totally, I understand how you might perceive it to look, but we negotiated a deal with Frapple. And there were several entities. If you were to look at town meetings, you'll see several entities that have come in and talked to the town about different possibilities of developing that land. So it could have been Wagner, it could have been the mushroom farmer, it could have been a host of anyone who would be buying that land with the easement on it. The reason for taking the water line off of Red Pump Road did easily save the taxpayers of Rising Sun in excess of about $300,000, because the county was requiring us to knock on the doors of roughly 38 property owners and not only ask them for an easement to go in the shoulder, because a lot of those property owners owned to the yellow line of Red Pump Road. And we were just asking permission to go in the shoulder and the gravel. The county wanted us to knock on the door and ask people for a 30-foot road widening easement, which would have potentially put future roadway expansion right up to the doorsteps of some of those property owners. As you can appreciate, the Rising Sun, the elected body, said, we're not going to be the carrier of that message. We're not going to have people up. We just need to go in the shoulder of the road, dig up the gravel, put the line in and restore it. We were not going to be the ones to get permission to the road to be expanded in the future, and that's what the county wanted us to do. And then we also would have had a tremendous amount of stormwater management that we would have had to do in addition to repaving a single lane of Red Pump Road, the whole stretch out, and Fremont Road, the whole stretch out to the Pennsylvania line. So the decision was made, instead of having to try to get easements and encroach upon people above and beyond what we felt was reasonable, we went to probably 4 or 5 different property owners along there to get the easements necessary to come through the fields. But it was done for the purpose of saving a significant amount of money for the town of Rising Sun. So I think I answered all of your questions. If I missed one, just let me know.
I had read some of it. I was unaware of the original agreement with Rattler.
Yep.
One last question. The water line plans, will they be made available for perusal?
I could probably, they are a public document.
Yeah, I'd be able to listen to it. Well, I've called them, and of course, they're with your contractors.
We could do it one or two ways. I could make them, I don't think the board has any objections to someone coming in and viewing the
So
road.
are you looking for a copy
plan.
or just a view?
Just a view.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't have
Yeah.
a problem with, I mean, copy is a different story, 'cause you don't have the equipment to copy them, so we'd have
Right.
to pay to get,
No.
they're expensive to get printed. But if you want to view them, I don't have any objection to that.
yeah,
No, I think the more information, the
Yeah.
better.
yeah. So just let me know sometime and I can get them,
Okay,
I can
thank
get them set aside for you. All right.
Thank you. Anyone else like to speak this evening? All right, Chief?
Good evening. For the period of May 9th through the 22nd, we responded to 154 calls for service. We also spent time at the career day for Rising Sun Middle School. We attended the Safe School Steering Committee meeting. A grant has also been authored for funding to replace the ballistic vest for the officers. And we've also recalibrated all of the radar equipment for the department. With that being said, my report is very brief tonight. Is there any questions?
All right. Thanks, Chief.
You're welcome.
Town Administrator, do you have a report?
I just want to touch base on the fact that we did submit the VLT grant applications. We did it for the fire hydrant, and we've gone over that. It's frustrating that we have to use our poker chips, so to speak, to try to get money for hydrants that are in Cecil County.
That are not servicing our residents.
Yes, but in order to, we value our relationship with the fire department. It's something that they feel is very important, and we want to stand shoulder to shoulder with them. And the only avenue we've been given right now is to apply for the casino slot money. I have gone back to the engineer and requested some more detailed drawings, because quite frankly, I don't want to have a reason for any kind of denial of funding because someone doesn't have all the available information. So we're getting as detailed cut sheets as we can to show how easy this could be and how cost effective savings-wise it could be if it's done while the project is in operation and not something that somebody decides to come back a year from now and attempt to do. The other thing that we did is we applied for grant money for the traffic study that the town is in operation doing. And as I've said before, I would hope, when I talk about the poker chips, I would hope that the groups looking at the grant applications would not say, well, we're going to give Rising Sun $25,000 for hydrants, and then for the next couple of years, the town might not be able to get a favorable status on any other grant monies because they're going to view it as, well, they already gave money to the town of Rising Sun, and we keep saying it over and over again. It's not benefiting our residents. But we did submit 2 grant applications under the VLT. So.
Thank you, Town Administrator. All right, going into the mayor's report. My report is pretty brief. As the chief said, he went with me along with Judge Will Davis to Career Day. It was a great event to talk with the kids about my position as mayor and what the chief does as chief of police and what Judge Davis does as a judge. We all talked about how decisions that you make when you are at this age of getting ready to move into high school will affect you forever, and how staying on the right track, staying on the straight and narrow is important. The decisions you make today will affect your life moving forward. And if you want to be something like a police chief or a mayor or even a judge, you have to be aware of that. I also wanted to say that myself and Commissioner Warnick attended the Cecil County primary debate. It was a great event to get to meet some of the candidates that are running for our county council offices and to spend some time with them. Also, in the news, you've seen that Plumpton Park Zoo officially has Annabelle there, who is the female giraffe. We're super excited about that. Congratulations to them. Quite a journey that she made from the West Coast all the way here. And I hope that her and Jimmy are definitely happy together. The Rising Sun High School softball team is regional champions this year, so we wanted to say that we're really proud of them and super excited to watch them move forward. And that really concludes my report. So Commissioner Braun.
I have no report today.
Commissioner Pearson.
No report?
Commissioner Warnick.
Sorry, no such luck. So just a few things tonight. First of all, I want to remind everybody that NLX Fitness starting June 5th, the Tuesday after Sunfest. So everything right now for me is, before and after Sunfest. It was starting their Workout in the Park program. It will be on Tuesdays at Veterans Park and on Thursdays at Richardson Park. Right now, Meek has scheduled for 3 p.m. to 4 p.m., 4:30 to 5:30 p.m., and 6 to 7 p.m. I think it's one of those things we'll probably have to work it out a little bit and figure out, exactly what times are going to work over time. Yeah, so it is $10 per class or a summer pass for $200. 25% of the profits are donated to Rails to Trails, and if anybody's interested, contact Meek Woods at NLX Fitness. You can call him at 610-350-8214. So that, like I said, that starts June 5th. So Scout projects we've been moving along on. We started one of the projects down in Veterans Park the previous weekend, wasn't last weekend. And this weekend we'll be back down there trying to get the boardwalk section of that wrapped up. I met with the scouts for the dog park project, and there's a slight modification over there. But we'll still get the section from the bridge to the learning platform done this summer. And we're possibly there's some stuff with scouts and being their brothers and such. They had some concerns over the number of or like the proximity of the projects together, that they might be seen as working on each other's projects or whatnot. So we broke that up a little bit, and we're working on moving the one over into Veterans Park to a different project. The big thing right now is we're about a week and a half away from Sunfest, and I have been really tied up with vendor committee stuff. So if people are reaching out to me, I'm working hard to get back to them. But it's actually a lot of work getting all the vendor stuff set up and into places and keeping up on the emails and everything coming in from the vendors, asking questions. And I actually have a vendor today asked for 12 spaces. So
Wow.
I'm trying to figure out if we can make that happen. And I don't know exactly what they're looking to do yet, but it's Air National Guard. So I don't know if they want to put a runway in and land a fighter jet. That'd be a really cool thing to bring to Sunfest. But anyway, so we're really busy with that, and you'll see things happening probably in about the next week or so. You'll see the parking lots getting marked. Chief, I got to talk to you about when we shut down, the logistics of shutting down the parking lot and such, so that we can make sure the food vendors can get set up the night before. So we'll close a section of it the night before and things
Dave,
like that.
Can you give the date and time of Sunfest again?
So Sunfest is June 2nd, and the parade is at 9 a.m. That takes about 35, 40 minutes or so, and then the opening ceremonies happen just before 10 o'clock on the main stage here in the center of town, and then the events from 10 to 4. I believe One-Eyed Jacks go on stage at 3 p.m., so it'll be another good event. And I believe that's all I have for tonight.
All right.
So,
So
Thank
we
you.
have some upcoming meetings. We have the Planning Commission workshop, which is Monday, June the 4th at 6:30 p.m. Our next town meeting, due to the fact that the board will be away at MML, will be on Tuesday, June 26th at 7 p.m. The Planning Commission, the next workshop after that is Monday, June 18th. Obviously, Sunfest is coming up, and then Town Hall will be closed on Memorial Day, which is Monday, May 28th. I also wanted to say that this Saturday, Governor Hogan will be at the Fair Hill Races. He will also be in Elkton as well. He'll be at the Fair Hill Races starting around 3 p.m. Myself and Commissioner Warnick and a few other members of the town elected body will be there, along with Governor Hogan, as we welcome him to Cecil County. Is there anything else coming for the board this evening? Hearing none, can I get a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Been
Second.
moved. Can I get a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.